I'm Bryant Gumbel. Tomorrow morning on Today, we'll take a look at the future of Speaker Jim Wright.
I'm Jane Pauley, also master spy novelist John le Carre, and Sammy Davis Jr.
That's tomorrow morning on Today.
Tomorrow, President Bush continues his personal diplomacy in Europe. Next stop, England. I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll have complete coverage from London on NBC Nightly News.
Arrested. Drunk driving. Me. Almost threw myself on the mercy of the court. Then a friend said, don't make a bad mistake worse. Call Jacoby and Myers. I found out that different courts have different policies about treatment programs, fines, jail. Jail.
Jacoby and Myers has been on your side since 1972. Go to court prepared. Make sure we're your attorney.
I got smart. I didn't go to court alone.
Attention, citizen. My directive number 3 prevents me from paying a lot for this muffler.
Don't worry. At Meineke, you get quality Everlast mufflers from just $18.93 to $26.95 installed.
Thank you for your cooperation. I did not pay a lot for this muffler. Have a nice day.
You're not going to pay a lot for quality at Meineke.
Family Feud, 7:30 weeknights on Channel 4.
The following is a repeat telecast of the 11 o'clock edition of News 4 New York. From WNBC TV, this is News 4 New York with Chuck Scarborough and Sue Simmons.
Good evening. News 4 has learned tonight that a New York Supreme Court justice will be busted tomorrow by federal investigators.
Judge William Martin was recently elected to the state Supreme Court in the Bronx. He ran as a reformer, promising to rid the Bronx of graft and corruption. Well, tomorrow he is set to be indicted, charged with hiding huge cash payments from drug kingpins when he was a Bronx defense lawyer. News 4's John Miller has this exclusive report.
At dusk, State Supreme Court Judge William T. Martin stepped out the door of his Bronx home and paused. When he steps outside tomorrow, he will be walking under a cloud. Tomorrow afternoon, federal sources say Martin will be charged criminally with taking cash payments from major drug dealers in the Bronx when he was a lawyer in private practice, and allegedly hiding that money by not declaring it on his federal income tax returns. Before being appointed to a judgeship, Martin shared law offices with lawyers Michael Niedick and Mark Weinstein. Earlier in May, both lawyers quietly entered guilty pleas in Manhattan federal court to income tax evasion. Sources say both are set to testify against Martin. Federal sources also say that a courier arrested in Virginia in 1987, working for a major heroin distribution network based in Harlem, is also said to be ready to testify about secret cash payments he delivered to Martin when Martin was in private practice. Today, when we caught up to the judge in the Bronx, he put a hand over his face and silently ignored our questions, a cigarette dangling from his mouth.
Sir, we understand you're going to be charged tomorrow with accepting cash payments from drug dealers. Do you have anything to say? The irony is that Judge Martin did not come out of the regular Bronx Democratic machine, an organization racked with corruption and charges since the indictment of Bronx boss Stanley Friedman. No, in fact, the irony is he was the choice of the reformers. Bronx reformer Oliver Capel battled the machine for Martin's nomination for the judgeship on the Democratic ticket, and he won. Despite rumors of the investigation, Capel reportedly said he had personally screened Martin with prosecutors and that Martin was clean. So at dusk, Judge Martin drove through the streets of the Bronx trying to shake a camera on his tail. And as the sun was sinking behind the tenements and the Bronx courthouse, that sandstone monolith stood empty, yet full of a day's rumors about a judge about to be arrested tomorrow. On the landscape that was used to paint Tom Wolfe's Bronx fiction, A Bonfire of the Vanities, a true story of politics, corruption, money, and power was about to unfold. Last week, Judge Martin was officially and quietly relieved of his normal caseload and reassigned to administrative duties in the courthouse. Bronx Chief Judge Burton Roberts wouldn't comment on the reasons for the move, but court sources say the Chief Judge is familiar with the case and the impending charges. Chuck, Sue?
Thank you, John.
Lunch hour at a high school cafeteria in New Jersey was interrupted today by gunfire and bloodshed. The shooting left 2 people wounded at East Orange High School. One victim is a student who was shot in the legs. The other, a school janitor, struck in the head. Police say the shooting was carried out by 2 gunmen and 3 companions who walked into the cafeteria and opened fire.
I heard people arguing right outside the cafeteria, right? Everybody in my class, nothing happened, right? Halfway to get upstairs, a shot happened. So, a cat gun and stuff like that.
When I was walking in the hall, I heard 4 shots, and next thing you know, it was a lot of, I came out in the hall and I saw Pooh, and that's this young boy that got shot in the leg. He was limping up the ramp.
Apparently it's a drug-related thing, and I don't know the story of that part, but the word is that it's a drug-related thing, and there's a lot of drugs on this street.
Newark's University Hospital says the wounded janitor, George Green, is in critical condition. Police say there is nothing to indicate that the suspects were students.
Tonight, the young New Jersey murder suspect, described as a wizard with numbers, is locked up on $4 million bail. Residents of affluent Springfield, New Jersey, are trying to figure out how their comfortable neighborhood could be the scene of a massacre. Police say last night, 23-year-old Rolando Marcello went on a slashing rampage. Marcello is a recent honors graduate in economics from Yale. He's accused of killing his mother, his brother, a family friend, and a neighbor who tried to stop the carnage. Marcello had been depressed lately after losing his job at Chemical Bank because of a prolonged sick leave he had to take.
I think the kid's mind just went for whatever reason, and hopefully they'll be able to find out why.
Very wonderful family. Boys are very intelligent. Who were my son's best friends. So we're all very shook up about it.
The quotation under Marcello's high school yearbook photo reads, "Out there is a future to be had. If you think I'll let it go, you're mad." Marcello was unable to work after contracting Epstein-Barr syndrome, a virus that causes infectious mononucleosis.
A massive manhunt is underway tonight for a man who shot his former girlfriend and a plainclothes cop. 32-year-old Alfred Smith fled after allegedly shooting Joy Vassell and a police officer who was called to her Brooklyn apartment. Smith was released without bail 3 weeks ago after he was accused of assaulting and then kidnapping the woman at gunpoint. Police said Smith was trying to persuade Vassell to drop the charges when Officer Jeff Herman arrived. Herman was shot in the chest and leg, and Vassell was shot in the back. Tonight, Herman is listed in stable condition at Kings County Hospital, where surgeons had to remove his punctured lung. Vassell is also in stable condition.
Governor Cuomo today announced a new plan to give police officers more firepower, an effort to make cops as well armed as the criminals. The governor called on President Bush to fight crime by banning assault rifles. News 4's Gabe Pressman reports.
Officer Alessandro Virali showing the governor, assembled state and city police officers and reporters the deadly firepower of the AKM-47 assault weapon. An unusual news conference held at the police firing range at Rodman's Neck off City Island. Governor Cuomo succeeding in attracting media attention with a demonstration of the very weapon he wants to keep away from everyone except police.
Do hunters use weapons like this?
This basic weapon is not basically designed as a hunting weapon. It's more of a military application rather than you wouldn't basically use this to hunt deer.
The governor had choreographed today's gathering, setting his sights on sending a strong message to the legislature and the public, announcing a 3-point plan to fight crime. 1, assigning 60 new investigators for the city's drug enforcement task force, these to come from the state police. 2, outlawing semi-automatic weapons like the AK-47 and the Uzi. And 3rd, providing state police with new 9mm revolvers to cope with the heavy firepower of criminals.
We're finding again and again that people that we're arresting have weapons with much more armament and power than we have.
The weapons demonstrated here are weapons of war. They're not weapons of recreation. And it's a war being fought on our streets, in our parks, in our neighborhoods. It's a war against decency. It's a war against society itself.
Clearly, Cuomo has a fight on his hands in the Republican-controlled state Senate, where the gun lobby has heavy influence and could target the governor if he tries for re-election next year.
Am I afraid of that? Well, you know, nobody likes to lose.
You think you're going to beat him?
Yes. I don't think I'm going to beat him. I think the people of the state will beat them.
It's ironic, the governor said, that the same people who so ardently advocate the death penalty would block the ban on assault weapons. His bills, Cuomo added, would do more to stop crime than the electric chair. Gabe Pressman, News 4, New York.
Cuomo said the extra money for the police and new guns will come from the state's share of assets seized from arrested drug dealers.
Still ahead tonight on News 4, a champion of the elderly, Congressman Claude Pepper, is dead.
And a young boy with leukemia is missing tonight after being snatched from a hospital by his dad.
Tonight, News 4 New York is sponsored by GE.
All our science, all our technology, all our mathematics, our computations, somehow they all add up to moments that are beyond any calculation.
Have you ever seen a man who's bald look this good? We have. We see them every day. We're BioExcel, and we specialize in hair replacement. A unique process, near permanence, allows you to achieve a look never before possible. Nothing comes closer to your own hair. This man has tried everything, and nothing has made him look this good. BioExcel hair replacement. Near permanence for near perfection. For a free consultation, call 1-800-421-4801.
Last year, more than 10,000 adults were killed in alcohol-related car accidents.
And so were nearly 12,000 young men, women, and children.
When you get behind the wheel after having consumed even a small amount of alcohol, you're not only risking your own life, but the life of somebody's father or mother.
Or sister or brother.
Somebody's baby. For yourself and for the rest of us, please, don't drink and drive.
Please.
America's highways have become a battle zone. Please, don't drink or use drugs when you drive.
Tonight, a 5-year-old boy with leukemia is missing and may have been snatched from the hospital by his father, a Jehovah's Witness. And his mother is locked up in Rikers Island for refusing to tell police about the boy's or her husband's whereabouts. News 4's Perry Peltz has the latest.
It's a picture of a father and son like many others. But tonight, police are looking for 35-year-old David Pagan and his 5-year-old son, Darian. Pagan is a Jehovah's Witness. His son was last seen on the 5th floor of Memorial Sloan Kettering, a cancer hospital. At the hospital, the boy was receiving court-ordered blood transfusions to treat his leukemia. Jehovah's Witnesses are adamantly opposed to transfusions. The child has been missing since 9 o'clock on Sunday night. The district attorney says the boy's mother, Migdalia Pagan, is on Rikers Island for refusing to provide information about the boy's location. Tonight at their Bay Ridge apartment, neighbors say the Pagans are not criminals. What kind of a man is Mr. Pagan?
Beautiful person. Beautiful, this is a wonderful family.
They were very close, very religious family. They communicated a lot, they understood each other a lot, and they were close, real tight.
Are you surprised by what happened?
No, not at all, because I'm a mother, too, and if I had to do what he did, I'd do it, too.
Police are currently treating the matter as a missing child case.
Spokeswoman for New York City Special Services for Children said it could only become involved if the boy's condition worsened and he was not taken to the hospital for treatment.
Flags around the country at half-staff tonight honoring Claude Pepper, the oldest member of Congress and a champion of the elderly. Pepper, a Miami congressman, died today of cancer. He was 88. He first went to Capitol Hill in 1937 as a Florida senator. A lifelong liberal, he was one of the strongest supporters of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal. He lost his Senate seat in 1951, and then he returned to Washington as a congressman 12 years later. Pepper will be best remembered for the battles he fought in his own old age on behalf of the elderly.
After all, they've carried the load of our country longer than anybody else.
And I think now when they come to an age when they are not quite as able to fight the battle of life as they probably were, that they're entitled to help.
Well, just last week, Pepper was awarded the Medal of Freedom, the country's highest civilian honor. Pepper's body will lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda on Thursday, an honor generally reserved for presidents and national heroes.
The NATO summit is over, and President Bush is in West Germany tonight, celebrating an historic agreement to cut back troops in Europe. Mr. Bush celebrated tonight with West German Chancellor Kohl. The president persuaded Kohl to accept his proposal for scaling down U.S. and Soviet troops in Europe. And Kohl compromised on cutting back nuclear weapons, but Mr. Bush would not claim victory at Kohl's expense.
I don't view it as a victory for the United States. I view it as a victory for the alliance.
But many diplomats, both European and American, are calling the NATO pact a triumph for the president. Tomorrow, Mr. Bush will give a speech in Bonn about the outlook for the Europe of the future.
Well, Len Berman's up next with sports. Yankees pitcher Tommy John says he's not through yet.
And Rick Pitino and the Knickerbockers part company.
Now, introducing Telefun Trivia. Select your favorite subject: sports, Bible, science, soap operas, music. Win instant prizes every day and compete for a new grand prize each month. You can win cars, boats, trips, concert tickets, and much more. Play Telefun Trivia.
I win!
You can win. Call 540-I-WIN. $1.50 first minute, 95 cents each additional minute. You've got to try it.
I'm the Coronet mother, and if you're in the market for cribs, strollers, high chairs, playpens, and toys, then Coronet's for you. At Coronet, we have 2 giant warehouses loaded with stock at Coronet's famous low discount prices. Coronet opens 7 days a week, where you get giant discounts for little people and no talking orangutans.
Hey, Ma, what are you making for dinner?
Reservations.
Coronet, 1111 Old Country Road, Westbury.
We're a nation of problem solvers.
America.
But one massive problem still challenges us: poverty.
God shed his grace on me and crown my good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
The problem of poverty isn't too big for America.
20 minutes ago, this man's last shred of dignity was stripped right off his back. Where do you go when your world is this cold, this cruel? He got help at the Salvation Army. They got help from the United Way. Thank God the United Way got help from you. The United Way, it brings out the best in all of us.
1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys are victims of sexual abuse before they're 18. Many before they're 10. The Adam Walsh Child Resource Center has a comprehensive safety program for elementary school children, their parents, and their teachers. The program is Kids and Company. To find out more, call 1-800-4ADAM and help us help our children hang on to their childhood.
If you're eligible for Medicare and covered by employer group insurance other than Medigap or Medicare Supplemental, use insurance first and make Medicare last.
Well, the suspense is finally over.
Yes, we've waited for Rick, and the answer is...
He's gone. Rick Pitino and the Knicks have parted company after 2 successful years. After calling the Knicks a dream job, he has left to chase another dream, to coach the University of Kentucky. He met with the Knicks today. They worked out a deal to release him from his contract, and off he goes. Don Gould got these reactions from the principals.
It was an emotional decision to leave Providence a few years back. I made it because of growing up in New York. If I didn't grow up in New York, I wouldn't have come to the New York Knicks. I wasn't looking to get into professional basketball. But I wanted to be part of a turnaround here with the New York Knicks. I wish it could have lasted longer, but you have to know who you are. And I'm a college basketball coach. I think that's where my heart is. And I think that's in the best interest of everyone.
Was there a counter proposal at all, Al?
No.
How amicable a parting is this?
I think it's very, very amicable.
So the Knicks need a new coach now. Bianchi wants to talk with Dallas coach John McLeod. McLeod is quoted tonight as saying he wants to stay in Dallas. Whoever the new coach is, hopefully he will stay a while. fans are always coming down on athletes who want to renegotiate, but the coaches merrily skip along, getting out of contract after contract. At the stadium tonight, the Yankees lost to Seattle, final score of 3-2. Top of the second, Ken Griffey Jr. with the home run off Jimmy Jones, upper deck. Jones was just brought up to replace Tommy John. And in the sixth inning, Griffey hits another one. He had all 3 RBIs for Seattle. Come back, Tommy. All is forgiven. Here's the play of the night for the Yankees. A foul ball. Shortstop Alvaro Espinosa reaches in, and he comes out of there with it. They ruled it an out, but they lost anyway. Randy Johnson, at 6'10", tallest player ever to pitch in the majors. He got the win for the Mariners. He was one of the players who came over in the Mark Langston deal. The third-place Mets are in San Francisco again tonight, and they took the lead in the first. Tim Tuffle playing second base tonight. Jeffries is over at third. Base hit for Tuffle against Mike Krukow. Dykstra scored. Tuffle goes for second. Kevin Mitchell gunned him down. It's a nice, cool candlestick night. 1-0 Mets as they play the third inning. Will Clark going incognito there. David Cohn is pitching for the Mets tonight. Elsewhere in baseball, here's that one run the Yankees needed tonight. Claudell Washington hitting a 6th of the year for California. Another tough day for umpires. Look behind the plate. John Shulock at Baltimore. Why didn't the catcher make that stop? And you have to love the new White Sox uniforms. No, just kidding. That's Elkie Summer throwing out the first ball. Good form. First place Baltimore winning their game tonight. Second place Boston lost. The A's Dave Stewart, the first in the American League, to win 9. Cleveland beat Toronto. Detroit over Chicago. Jim Abbott in California leading Milwaukee in the 8th. Minnesota cooled off hot Kansas City. National League, Pittsburgh shut out Cincinnati. First place Chicago edged Atlanta. And Houston is leading St. Louis 7-2 as they play the 9th. Tommy John, released by the Yankees yesterday, says he has no intention of retiring. He still wants to pitch. Some people might say, Tommy, 46. Okay, take the hint. Enough already, Tommy. You know, that's it. It's been a nice career, and
It's been a nice career, but you know what? I still enjoy what I'm doing.
Is winning 300 games a major goal, a burning desire?
It's a goal, but not 300. I mean, I've got 350 set, but I may reach 288, and that may be all I'll get. I'm not doing it to win ball games. I'm doing it because it's a job I've done for a long time. I still enjoy it.
He has fun doing it, wants to keep on. As for Mike Schmidt, after his tearful retirement yesterday in San Diego, he returned home to Philadelphia today, and at Veterans Stadium, he stood at home plate addressing the media. And they were sitting on chairs right there on the field. He was still emotional about it, although it wasn't quite the scene it was yesterday when he completely broke down. 2 fascinating days in the life of Mike Schmidt. And Mickey Mantle will be my guest tomorrow on Live at 5. Join us. That's sports.
All right, Len,
Thank you. Al Roker is next with the worst in weather.
If the worst happens to be heat, haze, and humidity, he has it. Stay tuned.
Petland discounts, Petland we care.
I'm Neil Padron, president of Petland Discounts, the tri-state area's largest chain of pet shops. We offer a large selection in specials, like this 10-gallon starter set, only $9.99. Tank, pump, filter, and more. At Petland Discounts, we give you our very best because we know how much you love your pets.
Petland discounts, Petland we care.
Now, over 50 convenient locations, all open 7 days.
Child abuse can be a family affair, passing from one generation to the next. People who abuse children were often victims themselves. Placing blame won't stop child abuse. That's going to take work and commitment to break the chain of abuse and the chain of guilt. If you're having trouble, get help, not just for your children's sake, but for their children and their children's children.
We spend millions of dollars a year keeping people in prison, millions of dollars a year feeding and housing the homeless, but often less than $3,000 a year to send a child to school. Maybe if we spent more on education, we could spend a lot less on crime and poverty. The more you think about it, the more you know education is not only our greatest hope, it's our greatest bargain.
It's Setsi Ganev, costume designer. Kelly Asbury, film animator and cartoonist. It's all of us. We're the great American investors. Like 30 million other Americans, we invest in U.S. savings bonds because bonds pay competitive rates like money market accounts. U.S. savings bonds, the great American investment. To find out more or to buy bonds, call 1-800-US-BONDS.
We've got a message for drug dealers. Stay the hell out of public housing because we'll nail you.
Almost June, so I guess it's appropriate for the 3 H's. Isn't it, Al?
What are they?
I think you know. I think
Haze,
you're just
heat,
trying
and
to
humidity.
tease us.
I know, I was. Haze, heat, and humidity, and it's going to be that over the next few days. It's kind of sticky out there right now. As we go outside, Jeff Scarborough and Mr. Gil Golpe getting our video for us, the Radio City Music Hall, and it is a sticky night outside. Our high for the day, getting up to 76 degrees, the overnight low 59. Sunrise at 5:28, sunset at 8:20. Taking a look right now, 11 o'clock. We've got 74 degrees, partly cloudy skies out there. Southwesterly breezes at 12 miles per hour, steady barometer, 71%. Our relative humidity, and it is pretty mild. Coolest spots closer to the water, 63 right now in Islip, 61 in the Hamptons, 64 Stamford, but it's 70 in Newburgh, Morristown 73, Trenton reporting a temperature of 72 degrees. On the satellite, high pressure is anchored off the eastern seaboard. That's pumping up that southwesterly flow of air, so it is warm, humid air. Now, we also have a weak stationary front just up to our north, so that's trying to slide down. Between the two, you get instability, so we're going to have the heat, and the humidity, and maybe a scattered, we don't hate the weather, no. There's the heat, the humidity, and a scattered shower or two through tomorrow on into Thursday. Otherwise, once that pushes through, cooler weather and a little bit less humidity. So our forecast for tonight, we are looking for temperatures that will be dropping back into the upper 50s to low 60s, maybe some patchy fog around. In the morning, you can expect those temperatures climbing up upper 50s to mid to upper 60s, with again maybe a little pesky, patchy fog still hanging about. And then during the day tomorrow, hazy, variably cloudy, maybe a scattered shower or two. Highs will be in the low 80s. Although cooler along the shorelines of Long Island and Connecticut. And if you're going to be traveling tomorrow, it's going to be cool along the west coast, but much of the country, eastern third, about in the 90s. And as far as precipitation, you can expect heavy showers and thunderstorms from the Great Lakes on into the Gulf Coast. Our extended outlook for you looking like this on Thursday, a high of about 85 degrees with variably cloudy skies. Chance of some showers again on Friday, high 78. Then going into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures in the low 80s. So all in all, again, just getting you ready for the dog days of summer. These are kind of like the puppy days. So,
puppy days.
Yes, we just getting started.
All right, Al.
Thanks,
Thank
Al.
you. Tomorrow on Live at 5, as Len mentioned, Mickey Mantle will be here, and also comedian Richard Lewis.
And on News 4 at 6, we'll have more on the indictment of William Martin, the Bronx Supreme Court Justice, the story we broke exclusively tonight on News 4 New York. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.
There's no need for us to be empty. If you're pregnant or have a child under 5, you may be eligible for WIC. To find out, call this free number,